I'm sure you learned a lot from the drama sketch you've just seen. Now, I have a question for my health educator. As a health educator, how best can you describe personal hygiene?
Thank you very much, Tope. Yeah, basically, personal hygiene is the process of keeping our body clean. It has to do with a set of practices that has to do with the upkeep of an individual's appearance, cleanliness, and general health. And it involves a lot of activities, but also I must be able to tell people that it's also differ, from culture to culture. A lot of activities go into what you call, personal hygiene. But basically, it's about keeping our bodies clean.
Would the doctor like to chip in one or two things, add to what Mrs. George just said?
Yeah, basically, personal hygiene involves the caring, the grooming of all the body parts, including the external and the internal, for good, for your general health and well-being. Everybody must know that personal hygiene involves being clean, as this, if you're clean, it will give you better health and all of that. So basically, and it involves all the systems of the body, starting all the way from your hair, your eyes, your teeth, your skin, your fingernails, your feet, and all of that, your armpits, your body parts. That's why we said external and internal. So all of that encompasses what you need to know about your personal hygiene.
Thank you very much. And to Mrs. George, what are the personal hygiene habits that should be part of our daily routine?
Yeah, thank you, Tope. Yeah, for every person, we will appreciate that we are human beings, and as human beings, a majority of the parts of our body is actually, they are living, we have living cells in us, and all these cells, at one time or the other, they die, they flake off, new ones are, being replaced, they replace the dead ones. So there is the need for us to actually make sure that these dead cells are taken away from the body. Okay. And so if we start to make it easy for us so that we don't miss out the point, the sequence, I think we should start to look at the whole body from the head.
Okay.
And so if you look at the head, we're talking about the hair, we're talking about the scalp. So there's need for us as men and women, to wash our hair. The hair should be washed at least maybe once or twice, in a week. Wash it with shampoo, And I think one of the major mistakes we do in washing our hair is that we wash with any soap, which is not ideal. Washing with shampoo is actually the best, for the head. Keep the hair manageable, and make sure that at least it's glowing. And those are the things that will make our, hair glow. And then we can keep away the dandruff also with shampoo. That is one of the things that it does, because, the dead cells of the scalp that is coming up, if you don't wash with shampoo and then comb out, those things stay there and they become the flakes that we see, at the end of the day. So precisely that is what we should be doing with our hair. And then let us look at the skin. The skin is the largest part of the largest organ, if you say, of the body. And, the cells keep on, coming up, and then the dead cells are there. So on our skin particularly, there are three types of things that we are looking at. We are looking at the dirt generally from the environment. Okay. You are looking at the oil, that is, secreted, by the body, and we are looking at the dead cells. So those are three major things that are always constantly on the skin, and so we need to get rid of them to ensure that we have a glowing skin. So we need to have at least a shower twice a day. Twice a day at least. And for those who indulge in maybe extraneous physical activities, they can actually do it more than that, because you want to prevent body odor. You want to ensure that the body is clean, and ensure that but more importantly, in taking a bath also, we are looking at soap. Ordinary soap is good, because our people go for medicated soap. Or maybe it's out of the lack of knowledge of maybe thinking that medicated soap is better for the skin. That is not totally good. Ordinary soap, mild soap, will do justice to the skin. And that also includes our face. And I have to say this particularly for those of us who have to put on a lot of things on our face. You know, the skin actually contains a lot of pores, and then the skin needs to breathe. So for the skin to breathe, the pores must be open, and that is when the skin is actually in very good. So for those of us who make up, who apply all those things on our faces, you know, we need to ensure that, particularly at night, we wash off all this so that we can keep the pores of the, you know, face, you know, open, and you know, the skin can actually glow. That is it. And then maybe as time goes on and we grow older, you know, there is no harm in actually maybe using some moisturizer on the skin or some jelly. You know, we should stay away from those creams and those things that contain those chemicals that will, you know, affect the skin. I don't know, it's not going to be big English for them because I know the people I'm looking at, but we are looking at those creams that have mercury, you know, creams that have hydroquinone. All those things should not be in creams when we are going to be putting them, you know, on our body. So it's very, very essential to keep your skin clean. And more importantly also, we should also not look at the glowing of skin as a function of what we actually put on our body. It's a function of what we put in. Your food, the kind of food you eat, and so on, actually is the cause of that glowing that we see in a lot of our skins, because people always feel it's the cream and so on and so forth. And I think after the skin, we should be looking at our hands also is an important part of us that we should we'll look at hand washing in detail, because that is something that as time goes on, I'm sure the doctor will tell you more in details about the beauty of hand washing and how hand washing can help us prevent, you know, a sizable proportion of all those organisms that will cause disease in us. So we should be able to wash our hands, you know, well. Wash with soap and water also, not medicated. Washing under water, and it should be running water. It's very, very important. Not washing. I think I'll teach them that maybe before we leave, so that we can. So aside from that, we also want to look at our legs. We want to, the feet too are there. We want to take care of our feet also. The feet, you know, that is the part of us that we actually use to move around. And because it's down there, if we are not wearing cover shoes as we are doing, it's also liable to, you know, injury and so on and so forth. So the nails of the leg is actually, you know, to be cut, not so short, because you cut the nails of the hand short when you, that is the opposite for the leg. You don't cut it very short in the leg. But we scrub our legs, we make sure that the legs are clean, and particularly for those who wear socks, who wear, you know, shoes, we should make sure that, you know, the shoes, we alternate shoes. The one we wear today, we shouldn't wear it tomorrow, so that we can air it, and then we can put powder in between our fingers of the legs, so that all the sogginess and the, particularly when there is heat, you know, the leg comes up with a lot of heat, so we can actually, you know, put it in between, get the legs clean, put powder in between it before you wear your socks, and also change your socks also. You shouldn't be wearing the same socks, especially. You know, yes, you know, we change your socks, you know, every day. These are some of the things. I think there's still some.
Thank you, Mrs. George. You've really said a lot. I'm sure we've learned so much. I would like to hear from the doctor. What are the consequences of bad or poor personal hygiene?
Thank you very much. Like what the state health educator just said, she just went through all the systems. So maybe I will just support what she says, that if you don't wash your hair, like she said, that it's good to use shampoos and everything instead of, you know, mild soaps to get rid of, you know, dandruff. Dandruff are those dry things that cause itchiness. It gets very uncomfortable. If you don't wash your hair regularly, you'd have nits and hair lice. You know what hair lice is. And this can get, you know, you can infect other people by when you share your combs and all of that. You must make sure that the combs are kept clean and dry. You shouldn't share combs with someone else. You should wash your combs and keep them clean so that you prevent, you know, sharing head lice and all of that. So that's for the hair systems. You must make sure you oil your skin, the scalp, you know, to prevent the dandruff and all of that. Then if I move on to the mouth, it's very important for oral, you know, hygiene for your mouth. Everybody should brush twice daily, and you should stay away from fizzy drinks. Those are minerals, sugar, candies and all of that, because they result in your teeth getting decayed and your gums. So you have gum disease, you have tooth decay. I'm sure you've heard of caries. So all these things are things that you should prevent by what she said, like eating the right things. You should indulge in fruits and all of those things instead of, and then drink loads of water. It clears your skin as well. So those are the medical things that come with when you don't brush your teeth regularly. You can also